the 49ers have some fault. And I've said this before as it relates to quarterbacks. When you have a franchise quarterback, it is incumbent on you as the team to keep the guy happy. That was what the Texans did wrong. Whatever the explanation, whatever brought it to the point where Deshaun Watson wanted out, pre-22 lawsuits, whatever got them to the point where they were at in early 2021, when Watson decides he wants nothing to do with the team anymore, the Texans failed. Because that's your most important employee. That's your most valued employee. You make sure you have a great relationship with that person. You can't treat him like crap. You can't disrespect him. You can't do things that will make him want to leave. So whatever happened, unless Deebo Samuel is like some unreasonable diva, and I don't think there's any argument to be made that this is some unfair, over-the-top, overly sensitive reaction by him. The 49ers did something to piss him off, and the 49ers have to look in the mirror and ask themselves, what do we learn from this to not piss off our other great players?
Absolutely. But I think that's kind of the part we're missing, because when Ian Rappaport says, as he did today, that Deebo Samuel has issues with what his role was, it's kind of like, well, what is the issue, right? I mean, was it that he wasn't used enough as a wide receiver? Was it that he was used too much in the backfield? I mean, he was used, according to the NFL Next Gen stats, about 21% of the time of his snaps that he took in the offense from week 10 on, they came out of the backfield. Okay, and then you look at what his production was, what he meant to the offense. My old buddy Nick Wagner of ESPN pointed this out today on Twitter. He was accounting for 28% of San Francisco's total yards from scrimmage in 2021. All right, he's the only player all time with 1,400 receiving yards and 300 rushing yards in the same season. So, I don't know if it's that he was used too much, exactly what the specificity of his role is, or things like that. But I don't know. I think about a couple weeks ago, I was in Palm Beach and I was listening to Kyle Shanahan talk about how they definitely want to keep Deebo Samuel, how they know that Deebo Samuel basically has earned a raise. And, he was asked about the opinion of Pan, and he's like, yeah, I'm in favor of it. So I don't know what happened to make Deebo Samuel say, I want out. But at this point, it's clear that you're right. The 49ers did something to tick him off, and I don't know how you remedy that. But, I mean, I also think, Mike, if there's anybody that I would trust, if there's a problem with the role, right, if there's anybody I would trust to correct that, it's Kyle Shanahan. When it comes to designing plays on offense, I mean, there are only a couple people that I would say are better in the entire NFL than Kyle Shanahan. So I don't know. It's a little perplexing to me that we've gotten to this point with Deebo Samuel so quickly.
Because I would assume that before Deebo Samuel goes public with his trade request, they have tried to fix it. The 49ers have tried. And it may be that they didn't handle him the right way. They didn't play it the right way when he got upset. Maybe they thought, we'll just ignore him for a while and he will get over it. Just give him some time and he'll get over it. Another miscalculation. And again, I don't care what the reasons are, although the reasons are important. My point is the 49ers, in allowing it to get to this point, have misplayed and mishandled and miscalculated Deebo Samuel in some way, shape, or form. And now they have to figure out what they're going to do, because the football world is different than 10, 15, 20 years ago when a player who was under contract wanted out. Far more often than not, the team's attitude, especially with a non-quarterback, was too bad. Too bad. You play for us or you play for no one. That's it. You don't want to play at all? Stay home. You're going to play football? You're playing for us. We're not trading you. I don't know that attitude works anymore. The Cardinals are going to be a test case with Kyler Murray, possibly. And now the 49ers with Deebo Samuel in his contract year. What are they going to do? Is he going to hold out? Is he going to stay away? Are they going to give him what he wants? Is it going to happen before the draft? I mean, obviously, making this request before the draft is aimed at getting someone to make the 49ers an offer that they won't refuse. Not necessarily an offer they can't refuse, just one they won't refuse. When they look at it and say, okay, fine, we'll take the picks, we'll remove the financial obligation that we would have to pay Deebo Samuel, kind of like what the Chiefs did with Tyreek Hill and what the Packers did with Devontae Adams. We get picks. We don't have to pay the guy. We have cap space we can use elsewhere. We'll do it. We don't know where the 49ers fall on either side of this mentality that now exists in the NFL. And we talked about it after the Tyreek Hill trade and after the Devontae Adams trade. You need one team that says, F them picks, let's go get the great player. You need another team that says, we value them picks. We want them picks. Give us the picks and take the player. And we don't know where the 49ers land there. But why would you consciously make yourself worse unless you are damn confident you can find another Deebo Samuel to come in and play that role? And if they think that they can just draft another Deebo Samuel, my response would be, good luck.
Yeah. Well, right. I mean, I think the other difference with this, and there are a few, is that if you're talking about the Packers and the Chiefs and their situations and how you can get rid of Tyreek Hill and how you can get rid of a Devontae Adams, those two teams have Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes as their QBs, right? And so you're already paying a lot of money within the salary cap to those two guys. Now, when you're talking about the 49ers, they have a quarterback who's going into the second year of his rookie contract, and we really don't know exactly what Trey Lance is going to be, which is why I'm thinking, if I'm the 49ers, I don't want to get rid of my best offensive weapon when I'm trying to bring up a young quarterback and make sure that he can become in that elite tier of QBs, because that's why you give up so much to go up and draft him at number 3 overall last year. And because he's on that rookie deal, you can have more money to pay the guys around him. So it's not like they're totally cash strapped. Right? I mean, especially once they are able to rid themselves of the meddlesome priest that is Jimmy Garoppolo, like, they're going to be able to have that cap space to pay more guys and make sure that everything is solidified around Trey Lance. And so that's why, you talk about Nick Bosa, you talk about Deebo Samuel, those guys still really fit into what the 49ers plans are in order to not just get back to the Super Bowl, but also win it. So from that perspective, I understand why they're not very eager to get rid of Deebo Samuel and say, yeah, let's take them picks and try to get another one.
Yeah, and you make a great point about the development of Trey Lance. There's still a theory ricocheting around the NFL grapevine that Lance isn't ready, a quiet concern that maybe he never will be, maybe a chance they just blew it with him. Look, they're never going to acknowledge it, and there's plenty of time. It's too early to make those assessments, but here's the problem. Yes, when you move up to number 3, when you ultimately invest 3 first-round picks and the third-round pick in one player, you put an even greater amount of pressure on him to deliver, a greater scrutiny on how quickly he delivers. And that was a miscalculation, I think, by the 49ers. Look, the 49ers, for as good of a team as they've been in recent years, for as effective as Kyle Shanahan is with putting together a great offensive game plan, they have not handled the personnel side very well, setting aside passing on Patrick Mahomes, setting aside saying, no, thank you, Tom Brady, we don't want to have a homecoming for you on our team. Even without those two, the Trey Lance thing, it felt like some weird sort of draft day Hail Mary play that they ran. I know they did the trade a month early, which made it even weirder. Yes, and now whatever they did to piss off Deebo Samuel, and it would be wise for them to get their story out. If Deebo Samuel is being unreasonable, and again, they're probably in, let's see if we can put this fire out mode, but at some point, when the dust settles on this fight between player and team, I'd love to know their side of what happened with Deebo Samuel, because it's entirely possible, although I wouldn't say it's probable, that they just didn't do anything wrong, that it was just maybe some stupid misunderstanding, or I don't know. I want to know. I'm fascinated by what broke this relationship, because of all the relationships on the team, this is the one they should not want to have broken.
Absolutely. But I think the 49ers approach to this strikes me as better than whatever the Cardinals were doing with that draft day, that Super Bowl Sunday, like splash report, that Chris Mortensen had, where it's like, Kyler Murray's selfish, Kyler Murray's this, Kyler Murray's that. Like, what the hell was that? So I think it's much better from at least the team perspective of trying to make sure that this relationship can go on in some way, if that's what they really want to do, and clearly it is, to not just go out and be like, well, Deebo Samuel's a diva receiver, and, he did this and he's that, and now he's this, and we can't control him, and Like, I don't think that would be productive in any way. at least at this point. So I don't know exactly what the solution is, but I think they seem to at least try, or they seem to be trying to handle this without the public view and without the public scrutiny. I think that's the way to handle your internal business. And so now that this has escalated to a point where Deebo Samuel made it public, yeah, that's going to make it a little bit different. But I think, at least for now, the 49ers are going to still try to handle this in-house as much as they possibly can so that they can get Deebo Samuel back on board. Because, again, you don't want to get rid of your best offensive player when you're trying to bring up a young QB.
Okay, so.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.